right, Jackson, you ready? All right, guys, here we go, here we go, here we go. Hey, Braden, I love school spirit, I really do, but I really can't see when you're sitting right here in that hat. I just can't see. All right, number 9, Garrett. All right, here we go. You ready? Number 3. Ready? Okay. Do you see all these little different pieces inside here? Y'all see all that? So it wants you to take and write a function for each one of those. Okay, so all you do is you take d of t equals, and you're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4 different equations. Are y'all okay with that so far? All right, this first one's easy. Where does it hit the y-axis? 0. Right, Gage? Okay. And your slope, it goes up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So what's 3 over 1? 3. So your slope is 3, and your y-intercept is 0. Are y'all okay with that so far? All right, now you need to give the intervals. Where is that an interval from? From what number to what number? 0 to what? To 1. There you go. So this is the way we write that. Y'all okay so far? All right. Because it's between, yeah, because if you switch that x over, it's really greater than 0. All right, let's look at the next one right here. This next piece, let me do it in a different color. All right, this next piece, we'll start with a slope. We'll start with a slope. So the slope goes up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. So what's your slope? 2/3. There you go. Y'all okay with that so far? All right. Do we see where it hits the y-axis at? Do we know exactly where it hits? We could guesstimate, but we don't know exactly, right? So let's do this. If we don't know, here's how we write it. We write parentheses x. Now, if something is inside parentheses, that moves it left to right, okay? So how far to the right did that move? How many places? 1. So we do opposite signs. Since we went right, it'd be -1. Anything that's outside the parentheses tells me up and down. So how much did this move up and down from here?
2.
Uh-oh, careful. How much did it move up? It moved up 3. So we write +3. All right, what is that interval from? What number to what number?
3 to 5.
No. 1 to 4. There you go. You have okay so far? I know it's different. I know it's different. All right, let me do a different pen. All right, what about this next piece right here? What about this guy? He's a flat line. What's a flat line?
Y.
It's a 0 slope, right? And it's y equals what number? 5. There you go. Y'all okay so far? All right, where does that go from? 4 to 7. There you go. All right, one more piece. Yeah, let's see. I know I do, don't I? All I need is the drill. We're good to go. All right, let's start with the slope. Here we go. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the right, 3. How much is that? 5 over 3. Can we see where it hits the y-axis? No, we can probably guesstimate where it would be, but I don't want to guess. I want to know exactly. So if we don't know exactly, we do parentheses. All right, we do an x. And how far to the right did that move from the origin? To the right. 7 times. And if it's inside parentheses, we take the opposite sign. So the x minus 7. All right, how far from the origin did that move up? 5. So we're going to write +5. And where is that from?
7
to 10. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right, number 4. If you've got a graph and it says that it crosses the y-axis in more than one point, so let's just put more than one point on the y-axis, and let's just draw a parabola sideways. Is it sometimes, always, or never a function?
Never.
Never a function. There you go. I said explain. It fails the what? What line test? What was it called?
Vertical.
The vertical line test. There you go. Perfect. Y'all okay? Yeah? No? Did y'all realize like we're almost in week 5 of this quarter? Almost. I know. You gotta do it in pieces. Chunk it. We'll do it in pieces. We'll do the first quarter to start with. Alright, so that means if we're almost done with a quarter, then that means that we are getting ready to have a math workshop test soon. Okay? So that's coming very, very soon. Alright, so let's go ahead and put that away. And I gave you some notes yesterday when you finished your test. Alright, and with those notes go the same learning target that we did before because we are still in chapter 2. So we're still going to look at that same learning target. And so Garrett, can you find our learning targets for us on the board? You see them?
The bright orange.
Yes, the bright orange one. What's the very first thing that we're going to learn how to do?
I can graph piecewise.
Alright, here we go. So it says piecewise, correct? That means that we are going to not graph the whole line like we did last test. We're only going to graph a piece of it. Does that make sense to everybody? Alright, so here we go. Before we do that, we need to know how to evaluate these. We need to know how to evaluate these. Alright, let's turn to page 21. You got page 21? Yeah? Alright, here we go. So look at this. Before you only had that, right? The last test? F of x equals x squared without all the crazy mumbo jumbo x less than 0. Now I'll give you 2 of them. It's okay, we're just going to build. So you've got x less than 0 and you've got x greater than or equal to 0. Where does negative 2 fit? Less than 0 or greater than or equal to 0? Less than 0. Negative 2 is less than 0, so we're going to plug into x squared. So we got negative 2 squared. So our answer would be 4. So we're just building off of what we did before. Y'all okay on that? Alright, let's look at 0. Is 0 less than 0? Or is that greater than or equal to 0? It's equal to, so we're going to plug into x plus 1. So f of 0 is equal to 1. Y'all okay? Pretty easy stuff? Alright, last one. Here we go. What about this 1? Is he less than 0 or greater than or equal to 0? There you go. So f of 1 is equal to 2. You have to make sure you write your notation correctly. There's about a handful of us that still got our points taken off on our test. Alright, let's look at the next one. Number 2. Here we go. Look at this guy right here. Is 5 ever going to change? Can I plug in anything to 5 to change him ever? He's not changing. So let's look at negative 3. Is negative 3 less than or equal to 2 or greater than 2? So what's my answer?
5.
And you done. That's it. That's all you got to do. It ain't never going to change. There's nothing to plug in. All right, what about 2?
5.
It's 5. That's it. Because it's equal to 2. What? Bless you. What about 5?
7.
Ooh, yeah, very nice. So we're going to plug that into here. 2x minus 3. 2 times 5 minus 3. And that is 7. Very good. Please make sure you write your answer correctly. F of 5 equals 7. All right, here we go. Last one, number 3. Yes, I'm going to do this one. All right, guys, let's look at this right here. Do you see this notation right here? Can anybody tell me what that means?
That it's greater than negative 6 and less than.
No, it's not greater than negative 6. Remember, that x has to be on the left. So flip it around.
makes it have to be greater.
Oh, you're saying that x is greater than -6. Is that what you said? I'm sorry, Jackson. I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. So basically, this just means that it's between. I'm sorry, Jackson. -6 and 8. I totally misunderstood what you just said. I'm sure y'all.
I was looking at my thing and I was like, that's
You
still
flipped it in your head. I know.
-6.
I swore that you just said -6 was greater than. So sorry. I flipped it in my head too. I didn't flip what you said. Are y'all okay with that notation? Yeah? Yeah? Y'all with me? Garrett, are you gonna keep me up on time? 10:28? You good?
You said it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10:28. We got 29 minutes. Don't go by AT&T time. Go by the one on the clock, because that's the one that's. All right. So go ahead and do number 3. Those 3. Go ahead and do both. All 3 of them on number 3. All 3 on number 3. And then don't go any further after that. We gotta go back and do that vocab word.
Why?
Yeah, we gotta go back and do that. Just that vocab. Remember to keep them as as fractions. Keep them as fractions. Do not do decimals. And do not do mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are not your friend in this class. Looking at improper fractions. All right, y'all get -27 for the first one? Yeah? All right, this, no? Did you plug into 9 minus x squared? Did you square it first? You forgot to write the square, that's why. You did 9 plus 6. All right, yeah, well, except for the square, yes. All right, 7. 7 is between -6 and 8, right? So you plugged it into this one? You can do all 3 of those. But it's still the same function you're plugging into. And you're still plugging in just this number. Alright, y'all get 2? Technically it's plus and minus 2, but we'll cross that bridge later. Because 2 times 2 is 4, and -2 times -2 is also 4. No, because if you use the third function, it would be the wrong answer. Because you're about to see in a minute when we graph it, there won't be a piece there. Let's see. Oh, that's 9. Alright, so that reduces to, what's 3 over 9 reduced to? 1/3. When you add fraction, you gotta have a common denominator. So what's the common denominator here? 3. So that'd be 21 over 3. Add them and you get 22 over 3. Y'all okay? Improper fractions are going to help you a lot more. I know that y'all are rocking those mixed numbers, but mixed numbers on some things are not going to help you, okay? All right, here we go. You ready? You ready? All right. So please make sure you have a pencil. If you do not have a pencil, you're going to be very upset on some of these. If you do not have a pencil, you're going to be upset, so make sure you have a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, go get one, because you're going to need a pencil. Everybody got a pencil? Sweet. All right, here we go. So let's look at this guy right here. So we're going to take, this is like saying y equals x minus 4, right? You okay? And where does it want us to take that piece from? X less than 2, right? Y'all okay so far? So we're going to plug in 2 right here. And that will give us a y value of -2. Y'all okay so far? Alright, so we want to go to x at 2. And we're going to go to y at -2. So x is 2. y is negative 2. Do not put a dot yet, just put your pencil there. Negative 2, negative 2. Y'all okay so far? Alright, do you remember in chapter 1 where we did the number line and we had open dots and closed dots? Remember that? Does this get an open dot or a closed dot?
Open dot.
It gets an open dot. Yes, sir, it does. So then we're going to do our slope. What is our slope in this line? 1 over 1. Now look, here's you got to be careful. You ready? What you got there? Because it's a different button. This one says graph. This is different. We want a graph. Alright, so our slope is 1 over 1. Now here's the thing. I do not want to go up 1 and right 1. I want to go down 1 and left 1. Can anybody tell me why I want to go down 1 and left 1? Very good, Piper. X is less than. It wants all the x's less than. So we're going to go down 1 and left 1.
Are these like closed dots?
Yep, all these are closed dots. The only one that's open is the one that does not include 2. And then we're going to draw our line. Look at the y-intercept. Does it still have a y-intercept of negative 4? Yeah? Does it still have a slope of 1? Yeah, it's still the same line that we always drew. We just took a piece of it. Does that make sense? Y'all okay? All right, we got to do the other one. Here we go. What about this one? This is y equals 1. Is that ever going to change? Nope. So we're going to go to the x-axis at what number? 2. And the y-axis at what number? 1. All right, don't put a dot. Just go 2 and 1. Just put your pencil there. All right, does that get an open dot or a closed dot? Closed. Do you notice how these two are lined up on each other? They will always be like that in this class. When you get to pre-cal, it'll be different. It'll always be lined up right there, okay? All right, now y equals 1. Do you have your calculator if you forgot? Y equals 1, and we graph. What kind of line is it? It's a horizontal line, right? Okay, but I don't want to draw the whole thing. I just want to take a piece of it. What's the piece that it wants us to have? Greater than. Which way are we going to do greater than?
Right.
To the right. There you go. Are y'all okay with this? Yes, no, maybe? All right, now, remember I told you it wasn't going away. Here we go again. Domain and range. Now look, guys. Domain is X. There is no shame at all in writing domain goes left to right. There is no shame in writing that down because a lot of us are still getting confused. So if you need to write that down, please write it down because now we're going to bring in range too. So you got 2 pieces to look at and you don't want to think that this one is going down. You do not want to think down. You want to think left to right. Okay, do y'all okay so far? Do you see one that is going left? Yes. Even though it is going down, as it is going down, it is also going to the left. Are y'all okay? And so that arrow means that it's going to go left, and left is which way?
Negative.
Negative what? And infinities always get a parentheses. All right, this guy right here is going to the right. He's going to the right forever, and right is where? Positive infinity, and infinities always get a parentheses. All right, here we go. Do you know the song starting from the bottom now we're here? You know that song? Okay. It's the same thing on range. We're going to start from the bottom, and you're going to work your way up the corporate ladder, and you're going to go to the top. Got it? All right. So do you see one of those graphs that's going to the bottom? Yeah, it's going down right here. And down is negative infinity. Y'all okay? And infinities always get a parentheses. All right, do you see one that's going to the top? No. But it flatlines, right? All right, range is y. Range is y. So what is that y value where it flatlines? There you go. Now, numbers are different. You got to be careful on numbers. Numbers could either have a parentheses or a bracket. You got to look at them. Look at that 1. That's got a closed dot. So what's that get?
Bracket.
That gets a bracket. Numbers do not always get a bracket, and they do not always get a parentheses. You have to see what they have. Are y'all okay so far? All right, let's flip over. Let's go to the next one.
Wait, so that opened out that bracket?
If that was as high as it went, yes. But it goes, you want to look at where it's as high as it goes to the top, which is this one, which is 1. So that 1 gets a bracket. All right. Oh. Wait, go back over. We forgot to do the vocab. What's a function that is written using 2 or more expressions called? Piecewise. There you go. Piecewise. And then we can flip over. All right, we got 3 more, and then we're done. 3, and then we're done. All right. I know a lot of you can do this in your head, and I want you to do it in your head. You ready? But I need to write it out just in case you cannot see it. Just in case you cannot see it, I need to write it out. So what are we going to plug in for x this time? -1. And so that gives me 2. Y'all okay with that? If you got it, if you don't have to write it down, don't write it down. All right, so what's my x value? -1. And my y value I got was 2. Don't put a dot yet. Does that get an open circle or a closed? There you go. What's my slope? 1/1. But do I need to go up 1 and right 1? Or down 1 and left 1? Why? Because it's less than. There you go. And you can make it as big or as small as you want. 1/1 is easy, so I just went all the way down. And then put your arrow on just that one end. Just that one end. All right, then we've got y equals 2x. If you can see it, you know your x value is -1, and you know your y value would be -2. If you can't see it, let's do it. So we got -1 for x, -2 for y. Do you see how they're lining up? They're always going to line up. If they don't line up, you did something wrong. And what's this one get, open or closed? Open. There you go. And it's greater. So what's my slope?
0.
No. My y-intercept is 0. What's my slope for that one? This is the one we're on. 2 over
-1.
2/1, and it's greater. So if it's greater, I want to go up 2 and right 1. And looky there, it still hits at 0, which is my y-intercept, okay? It's still the same line. And guys, if you're just not getting this way, that is perfectly okay. There, you can draw the whole line like we always do, and just erase the piece that you don't that we don't need. So if this way is not working for you, let me know, because I can show you the different way, okay? But this way is just much easier to do in your head. Yes, sir.
So I'm thinking like, if x is supposed to be greater than -1, why do you plug in -1 for x?
Because you wanna see where it's gonna hover over. Because it's going to get really close to -1, and as soon as it gets to -1, that's where the open circle is. But I have to draw it a little bigger so you can see it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because it could be like -0.999999,
Right.
but that would be really hard to plug in. So that's why we just plug it in and we get open or closed dots. All right, guys, here we go. There's no shame, none at all, in writing left to right, because y'all get confused when we do domain and range together. Y'all get a little confused. So write it out if you need to. Where is it going to the left? -infinity. There you go. Where's it going to the right? Positive infinity. And what was the other thing that we could say instead of going -infinity to positive infinity? What is that called? All what? All real numbers. Do you remember what the symbol was for all real numbers from way back at the very beginning of the very first day of school? Look at you go. Very nice. Very nice. So guys, if you don't want to write negative infinity to positive infinity, you can just write all real numbers and you're done. All right, this is the one that gets you right here is the range. What's the song? Starting from where? Starting from the bottom. You're going to work your way all the way up. From the bottom, right? All right, starting from the bottom. Where's it going to the bottom? Negative infinity. Where's it going to the top? Positive infinity. There you go. And if you don't want to say that, you could just put all real numbers. Y'all okay? All right, you try number 6. See if you can do number 6 on your own. You try number 6. You try number 6. Did y'all get that for your graph? Okay. You see how those dots line up? They should always line up, okay? All right, what'd you get for your domain? All real numbers. There you go. Either one of these is acceptable. Either one. What about your range? All real numbers. There you go. Yes, sir.
Will it always be all real numbers unless it's like a horizontal line?
Unless, except for if it's like number 7 when there's 3 of them.
Okay.
But when there's 2 of them, and unless one of them's a flat line, it's going to always be real numbers. Are y'all okay? Give it a minute. All right, let's look at number 7. Number 7's the same thing, but how many of them you got? You got 3 of them, okay? Look at the first one. There's nothing to do. What's your x value? And what's your y value? There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Does it get an open dot or a closed dot? It gets a closed, and it's a flat line straight across. But which way am I going to take it? To the left. Very good. Y'all okay with that? All right, this guy's a little different right here. What does that notation mean again? Yep, but just simply what could we say?
Between -4 and 2.
There you go. Between -4 and 2 is just real simple. So you got to plug in both of them. This one's easy. Y equals x is just y equals -4, and y equals x is just y equals 2. Do you see how I plugged in both numbers? It's just between those two. All right, so the first one we're going to go to is x is -4. And when we plugged in -4, we got a y value of -4. Open dot or closed dot? It's going to be open. Very good. Do you see how those points line up? They're really close, but they do line up. All right, my next x value was +2. And when I plugged that in, I also got +2 for y. And that also gets an open circle. Y'all okay so far? Okay, now don't just draw a random line between those two because you want to make sure you've got points. What's your slope right here? 1. And then you just connect all those. So it's a line segment. Y'all okay? All right, last one. Here we go. Y equals -x plus 6. So y equals -2 plus 6. Y equals 4. Y'all okay with that? All right, we're going to go to x is 2 and y is 4. And that one gets a closed dot. And look how my dots line up like they're supposed to. Everything lines up on top of each other. What's my slope this time? -1. So I can either go down and right or up and left. Which way does it want me to go?
Down and right.
Down and right. There you go. Now, if you're a visual learner, you really want to make sure those lines are as long as they can possibly be if you're a visual learner. That way you can see what's going to happen in just a minute for your domain and range. All right, you got 3 graphs to look at. Do you see a graph that is going to the left? Yeah, it's going all the way to the left. There you go. Now, I do not want to think about anything going up and down. I want to think about something going to the right. Do you see a graph going to the right?
Yes.
Yeah, even though he looks like he's going down, he's still going to the right. So his x values are positive. And we could just say that was all real numbers if we wanted to. All right, range is starting from the bottom. Now we're here, right? Starting from the bottom. Now look, listen to my question. Look at all 3 of them. Do you see one that is going down? Yes, you do. So a lot of you will forget to look at this one, and you'll see this right here, and you'll call that your y value. Don't call that your y value because it's going down and down and down and down and down and down forever. So that's negative infinity. And so, Kenan, this one has 3, so this one's a little different. Do you see when that's going up? No, it's not going up anywhere, but it stops, right? So it stops right here. This is the highest that it possibly can go. What is that y value? 4, right? Now, you got to be careful with numbers, because numbers could be either parentheses or a bracket, right? Y'all with me? Everybody with me? Everybody with me? All right. Some of us are on our phones, not with me. So this 4, is that 4 open or closed? That's closed. So that tells me that it gets
A bracket.
There you go. Don't just assume that they're always going to get a bracket, because they're not. The only thing that always gets something is an infinity, and he always gets parentheses. All right, so you have about 5 minutes to start on your homework. Your homework is page 23. It looks like a lot, but it's really not. A lot of you could probably do it in your head. This is what we started off with. Remember, you just picked one. -2. Which one's -2 go with? The top one or the bottom one? It's going with the top one. So you're going to do negative. You're going to do 3 times -2 plus 5. Y'all okay? That's it. I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. You got 5 minutes, 4 minutes. So you can go ahead and get started. Go ahead and get something done on it so you don't have to do it this weekend. Go ahead and get something done on it. Got 4 minutes.
you could at least get the first one right.